It's going down.
We're going to bring in my special guest, Stephen James Dixon, author of Men Don't Heal, We Hold, a book about the emotional instability of men. Stephen.
Woo! Hey, Glenda, how's it going? Hey, ladies, how y'all doing?
Hi. I'm well, Stephen. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, my gosh. I think we first connected over a year ago. Is that correct?
Yeah, it might have been a year ago.
It was over a year ago. And the reason why I know it was over a year ago because last December, you and I had a phone conversation, and I had already been in communication with you prior to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. So it has been over a year since we first met. And thank you so much for joining me, Stephen.
He don't sound like he remember. I'm putting him on blast. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember. Oh.
Stephen is doing it.
I was in your home city at that time.
In Chicago?
Yep, I was in Chicago. I remember.
Okay.
That toddling town.
Don't want to be there right now.
Okay.
Stephen, so you've been listening to what we've been talking about so far, right?
Yeah, I'm hearing y'all ladies. Y'all bringing me down a notch.
Why are we bringing you there? First of all, tell me, how did you come about the title of Men Don't Heal, We Hold?
My book is about a transformation of a man going from being a hoe to a successful husband and father. It was about me not knowing how to be successful in marriage. So a lot of the problems you guys are talking about, you're talking about them because men in general are not prepared for marriage, at least men under 30, are not prepared for marriage when we get married or even entertaining it. Mm-hmm. And so my first marriage ended in divorce. I was 23 years old, didn't know what I was doing, got divorced at age 25, got engaged again later when I was like maybe 29 or something like that, broke that off. And I started looking at myself and saying, you know what, I'm good at everything else but relationships. And so I wanted to figure out why. Because I'm, college educated, computers all day long, all that junk. I've started 2 businesses that did very well, but I wasn't applying my professional skills to my personal life.
Gotcha.
In my professional life, I will not lose. I will do whatever it takes to win. But in my personal life, I would let a relationship fall apart. If the marriage wasn't doing well, I wasn't happy. It was time to go. Mm-hmm. And so it's the attitude that I developed and what I saw in my family. My mother's been divorced 3 times. My father's been divorced 3 times. Half my uncles and aunts been divorced. And if they're not divorced, they're just in bad marriages. And so it was no one for me to look to for guidance, support, a role model, anybody doing anything positive about marriage. So I had to figure it out on my own.
Right.
And so by figuring it out on my own, that's why I came up with the book and started writing about how I can do it better.
I love the book, Stephen. And what I wanted to touch on, I have to say, when you first married, you were kind of young, though, right?
23.
23, yeah, that was pretty young. And when she and you all broke up, because when we go back to the title, Men Don't Heal, We Hold, and it's based on men having had bad experiences and masking the pain by jumping from relationship to relationship without commitment.
Absolutely. Just about every man you meet is going to have one woman that hurt him, and he hurt 10 other women because of that one woman.
Okay.
And so my book is about challenging men to express themselves, because we don't do that. I get hurt. I'm married right now with a wonderful wife, and all my friends know I love my wife and we'll be married forever. But if we got divorced tomorrow, my friends would just come by and say, "Hey, Stephen, you okay?" And I would say yes, and then we would go watch the game, and that would be it.
And that's because you all don't cry on each other's shoulders or look for comfort, within each other.
We don't express ourselves.
Express.
Not only do I not want to tell my male compadre, my male friend, how I feel as though he doesn't want to listen. In addition, I feel like he's going to judge me. So I keep all of that inside, and this pain and this frustration. I remember after I got my divorce, I was still mad at my ex-wife 3 years later, but I was the one who left the marriage. So I started looking at that and saying, why am I still mad? What am I still doing? Am I dealing with what went wrong? What did I learn? I never looked at what I could learn from that problem I had in that marriage or nothing. I just left, and I just started messing with as many women as I could. Contrastly, like you were talking about earlier, women get together and talk about things. Y'all express each other. Y'all cry on each other's shoulders. Y'all vent. Y'all figure out what's going on. Y'all actually deal with y'all's emotions, whereas the majority of men don't do that.
Right. So, Stephen, what I want to get into, we just, my boy Brooklyn just showed up.
Hey.
Hi, Brooklyn. Come closer to the microphone, baby.
Come in closer.
Thanks for making it on in. I know that rain was a beast.
Traffic is a monster.
We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, Stephen, I want you to explain to the women how to recognize and look out for men who are at a place right now where you were, who are just jumping from woman to woman, who don't want the commitment, who don't want the relationship, but are giving her the feeling, that is something that
still want to kick it.
Right. He wants to kick it. He wants the coochie delivered in the middle of the night.
But he ain't trying to commit.
What's wrong with that?
And if you like it, then you should have put a
So when we come back, we're going to get into more kingmakers. Are you operating at your full queendom? 877-210-6106 Foxhole Roulette with Glenda the Good Witch. We'll be right back. And we're back. Stephen.
Yes.
Stephen, again, I wanted to just touch bases on how we recognize a serious man. How can a woman recognize if a man is serious about dating her or serious about moving the friendship into the relationship and into something more than that even?
Yeah, it's tough. I wrote a bunch of articles for Essence, almost like a series on how to teach women on how to choose a man. One of the first things I talk to women about is learning how that man's previous relationship ended. So you got to know in advance, you got to find out if his last girlfriend cheated on him, chances are he's not going to be ready to move into a new relationship immediately. Chances are he might not be ready to make a commitment. So you got to look for those types of things. Mm-hmm. I teach women like y'all out there in LA, y'all doing it big. Y'all got some new guy come along, get drafted by the Lakers. He a millionaire now. Don't date him. He's new to LA. He gonna be looking for new women every single week. He got new money. He gonna be looking for women
some new hair.
Yo.
I'll be a new woman every week. I get some new hair.
Exactly.
I can do that for him. That's something that Brayley can do.
So a woman shouldn't think that, because she, cute face, small in the waist, big butt, that's gonna lock him in, just because he's, when he gets drafted to the Lakers and he comes across a, PYT, a pretty young thing, she shouldn't assume because she doing it big that he's going to just, be like, okay, I'm going to bow down to you.
Not at all. Well, not at all. One of the things I write about in my book is I say that after my divorce, I could have met Michelle Obama and she wouldn't have had a chance of hell. It wouldn't have been nothing. It doesn't matter to women. That's what women got to start understanding, that it doesn't matter where you are or what credentials you have or whatever. That's why you see, sisters doing well, such as yourself. You got lawyers, doctors, whatever, that are single, because it doesn't matter your credentials. You have to find out where that man is in his dating life.
Okay,
if he's ready.
Braylon,
can you please give us the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of he should have X, Y, and Z? What should I be looking for then?
You got to look for a man first that wants to get married. And if a man doesn't want to get married,
he should be saying, "Hi, Brayley, I want to get married."
No, he's not going to say that. But let's talk about me, for example. I always knew that I wanted to be married. Now, when I met you, that wouldn't mean I was going to marry you. But I knew at some point in my life,
right?
So that was in your conversation,
right? Hey, you see yourself getting married with kids one day? Yeah, I absolutely do. And then the next thing you want to find out is about their history. Are your parents still married? What kind of family tree you have? And I'm not meaning this in where you interrogating them and asking them type questions. It should be a part of your regular conversation with a person, just talking, just communicating how you feel about relationships and marriage.
We're gonna go to the phones. I got Wes in New York. Wes,
what it do, Wes?
Wesley Snipes?
Hey, Wes. What's up, baby?
Yeah, I just want to go back to a point Mr. Dixon had brought up about emotional pain and how men can't really get through it. And I think the problem is that we don't have healthy outlets, to express our feelings like women do have. And with that, I think since we don't vent, it adds to aggression, and you can see aggressive behaviors more in men. And I don't think it's a phenomena that men are in jail and stuff like that. More guys are in jail than females because we have so much built up inside of us that we can't really get it out.
Yeah, I wrote about something in my book where I say my father raised me to be a human. He should have raised me to be a human. He raised me to be a man. He didn't teach me to have feelings or emotions.
Right.
Oh, that's
the problem.
Recently, I was talking to a young man who was going through a divorce, a friend of mine, and I asked him, hey man, how you doing? He'd be like, I'm fine. How you doing? I'm fine. After the 10th time of me asking him how he was doing, I was like, yo, I'm about to leave then. And he was like, well, I did cry this morning, but besides that, I'm good. I'm like, why couldn't you tell me the first time, you know what I'm saying, that you were hurting? This is your wife, man, of 8 years. I know it had to hurt. I know it is right now. You know, we 35 plus now. We can express ourselves. We can talk. And he still would not do it. My man is 42 years old. And now he just run around with all this emotional baggage, angry at the world, nowhere to express it. So I'm trying to get actually a lot of men to go to counselors at least. And so I'm getting a little bit more successful there, because then we can at least vent how we feel without being judged.
Well, if men don't get the counseling that they need or want, can we discuss put on the forum, what can us women do?
But exactly.
What can us women do to assist these brothers into their kinghood?
To operate at our full queendom without being taken advantage of, without being emotionally abused, physically abused.
Absolutely.
We want to love you. We want to nurture you. We want to pour all of this over you, but we get the resistance.
Yeah. I wrote something in my book called Show Me Your Woman, where as a woman, I felt like when I was dating that all I was doing was having sex with women. I wasn't getting to know you. I didn't know what you brought to the table. I didn't know what your value was. To me, a woman is supposed to be a helper. So the woman I married, when I finally figured out what I was doing in marriage, she came into my life and she was ready to be woman. She came into my household, brought a candle, brought a vase. Hey, let's paint. Hey, let's get some window treatment. Let's get blinds, things like that. Because I was your regular man. I had the bare necessities. And she was woman enough to come into my life and say,
flat skirt.
All that. You know, and so what I tell women is, and what Kingmaker's article was about was, if you can make a king out of a man, if you can't make a king out of a man, then you need to move on. You can't be trying to make a man that's not a king into a king. It don't work like that. You got to see that in him and jump on it. So you got to come and be queen. Stop worrying about the man.
Now, Stephen. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I wish you were here because you could see the expression on my face that I want to interrupt you, but you can't see that. Now, you were open, though, to some sort of relationship when she was coming over there, rearranging the house and cooking and cleaning. You were already open to some kind of relationship, because a lot of times men ain't giving that vibe to you where you can come stepping up in their place and start cooking and you know, putting the drapes up and everything. So you obviously were open to some sort of relationship with her, correct?
Well, I was open to a relationship, but she also became woman, and so I had to respect her woman. So in respecting her woman, it made me get myself together. Let me give you a story. Like, I was dating a woman one time, went to her house, she had a nice fat crib, had all her money, and all I walked in, I saw the window was broken. And I said, hey, I'm going to fix that window. And she said, I don't need you to fix my window. I got money, I got a handyman, all that. And
I get me in that offer to do that. Right. That's what I want. I want a man to come in and offer to do that.
Angelo, can you hear me?
Exactly. But I didn't let her dictate that. I turned to her, I said, look, woman, I'm going to fix the window.
I want to touch on that independent woman stuff in a minute, but I want to go to the phones real quick before we go to break. Stephen, what are your thoughts on that whole independent woman thing? Because I don't get down with that. I don't get down with that at all. I need help, damn. I need you to come help me with this baby. I need help with these bills.
Yeah.
I need help with the light bulb.
The whole independent woman thing has never, ever concerned me. I think any real man is not really concerned with that at all.
Gotcha.
I think that the independence movement of women, kind of like some of the panelists said earlier, that women became independent because of their inability to depend on a man.
Exactly.
There you go.
I don't think women are born independent. They just wake up, hop out the womb, and go start making money, and all of a sudden they don't need no man. That's not the case. A lot of these women who are saying they're independent today, if you check their history, came a time along where either their father wasn't dependable, or their uncle or grandfather, or someone close to them, a man was not dependable, or they saw that in somebody and said to themselves, I don't want to be in that position. Therefore, I'm going to make this money and not need a man.
Stephen, you advise women to date more and leave early?
Yes, that's one of my main principles to women, is to date more and to leave earlier. And that's good that Brayley's is dating around. And I'm not saying have sex or whatever you do, that's your business. But I tell women, because women have this list of 10 or 15 things or whatever that they're looking for in a man. And it's good to have standards. But sometimes you may have a man that don't quite meet all of your standards. But what'll happen is if you go out with that guy once, twice, something like that, maybe you find some other things about him that weren't on your list. Like maybe he loves his mother. Maybe he's a responsible parent. Maybe he's good financially. You know, and I'm not saying
that's supposed to be on your list to begin with.
Exactly. That's true. That's supposed to be already on a list.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead, babe.
Yeah, and so I was just trying to explain to women, hey, you got to get out there. You got to date more. I wrote an article for women called "How to Ask a Guy Out on a Date." I feel like in today's age, it's
how to
hard
ask a guy out on a date.
Yes.
Oh, I got real Chi-Town, Chicago. How to ask a guy?
Right, ask a guy. What? No, we're not doing that.
Let me explain why. Well, because today's age,
Yeah, explain that.
we don't meet each other as easy as we did 30, 40 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah, where are they?
Exactly. Well, one problem is I'm in the mall on my phone and you're in the mall on your phone.
See, texting my
gotcha.
eyes is down. Texting the brother
That's
that don't
true.
got a car. Talking about, can I come pick him up?
Exactly. I'm on my Facebook. You on your Twitter. We walking by each other. And so when I say ask a guy out on a date, what I'm talking about, I call it light dating. Like, don't take no man to dinner. You can take a man out for a cup of coffee on a Saturday.
Right. Okay, y'all. This show has gone by so fast.
No,
I knew
it
it
cannot
would.
be over.
These topics always get real good. Steven, are you still there, baby?
Yes, I'm listening in, enjoying myself.
I want to thank you so much for joining me. You're going to have to come back again. You promise?
Absolutely. I'm going to have to fly out there for the next time, though.
You have to come out here. You have to come out here maybe right before Valentine's. I want to do a Brothers Reveals seminar.
Oh,
and maybe have you on the panel.
Bring a single friend.
Now, you also, what is your website? Relationshipbeast.com.
Yes, definitely go on
Relationshipbeast.com
and register and get your book. And the book is doing really well.
Yes, it is.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Make sure you follow me on Facebook at Stephen James Dixon, Twitter Stephen J Dixon, and just holler at me on my blog on Essence too. It's called The Relationship Report. So that's
right, on Essence.com. Thank you so much, Stephen. We're gonna keep in touch, and I want to hear from you again soon.